While you were sleeping last night, someone was still awake. While your house stayed warm, they were out in the cold. While you were dreaming, they were risking everything, just so your coffee, your package, your everyday life could show up right on time. And most people never even notice. Tonight, we're telling their story, the story America never talks about. One who works while America sleeps. Every city has a moment when the last restaurant light switches off, the last car pulls into its driveway, and the streets finally go still. For most people, this is where the day ends. But for someone else, this is exactly where it begins. Picture him, alone behind the wheel, miles of empty highway stretching out in front of him like a long, dark question with no answer. The radio is playing something soft just to keep him company because there is no one else in that cab but him and his own thoughts. Hour after hour, he watches the white lines disappear beneath him. He is tired, but he keeps going. Not because someone is watching, because no one is. And that, right there, is the loneliest kind of courage. Behind every quiet street you drive past tomorrow morning, there was a person, tonight, holding the world together, 1 mile at a time. To 3 a.m. in America. The secret life of supply chain workers. 3 a.m. The kind of hour where even silence feels heavier, where the whole world seems to be holding its breath. Outside, the streets are empty. No dog walkers.
No jaggers.
Nothing. But step inside a warehouse, just one warehouse, and everything changes. Machines hum like a heartbeat that never stops. Forklifts move like ghosts between towering shelves. And somewhere in the middle of it all, a worker wipes sweat from his forehead, even though it's the middle of the night, even though it's cold outside. His eyes are heavy. His hands are aching. His body is begging him to stop. But the deadline doesn't care about his body. The deadline never does. There is no one clapping for him at 3 a.m. No one filming him. No one thanking him. Just him, the boxes, and the clock ticking louder than his own heartbeat. This is the hour the world forgets exists, and yet it's the exact hour that makes tomorrow possible. 3. America after dark. The workers running the nation. When a city goes dark, we assume it means rest. We assume it means nothing is happening. But darkness is a disguise. Somewhere, right now, rain is hammering against a windshield, and a driver is squinting through wipers that can barely keep up. Somewhere, snow is falling silently, piling onto a loading dock, turning boots heavy, turning fingers numb. The weather does not ask if you're ready. The road does not care if you're scared. And still they go. Still they climb into the cold. Still, they push forward into the storm because somewhere a hospital is waiting on a shipment, a store is waiting on a truck, a family is waiting on tomorrow morning to feel normal again. Silence is not the same as stillness. Behind that silence, behind every dark window and empty street, America is still breathing. America is still running, carried quietly on the backs of people we will never see. 4. The invisible workers keeping America alive every night. Lift.
Carry. Move.
Lift.
Carry.
Move. Again. And again. And again. There is a rhythm to this kind of pain, a rhythm that becomes so familiar, the body stops fighting it and simply obeys. No one claps when a box reaches the truck exactly on time. No one notices the ache in a shoulder that's been carrying weight for 6 hours straight. No one says thank you when the store shelf is somehow, magically, full again by morning. These workers become invisible, not because their work doesn't matter, but because we are taught, without even realizing it, to only notice what's missing. We never notice what's holding everything together. We only notice the moment it breaks. And maybe that's the saddest part of all. 5. America's midnight heroes, the people you never notice. Picture this. A jacket, soaked completely through, clinging to cold skin, hours before sunrise. Boots heavy with snow, each step slower than the last, but never stopping. There is no cape here. No music playing behind him like in the movies. Just a tired body and a job that refuses to be finished until it's finished. He doesn't think of himself as brave. He doesn't think of himself as anything at all. except late and cold and almost done. But dedication without an audience. Sacrifice without applause. That is exactly what real heroism looks like. Not the version we see on screen, but the quiet version that walks past us every single night, completely unnoticed. 6. The workers behind America's 24/7 machine. The machine never stops. Not on holidays, when everyone else is gathered around a table, laughing, passing dishes, taking pictures. Not on weekends, when the rest of the world is sleeping in. Not even on a birthday, a wedding anniversary, a child's very first school play. The system does not pause for life. It simply keeps moving, and moving, and moving. And somewhere inside that endless, grinding motion is a person, a real person, just trying to keep up, just trying to hold on, just trying to make it to the next shift without breaking. We call it the system. But the system has a face, and that face is tired. 7. Behind every package, the hidden struggles nobody talks about. That package sitting on your doorstep right now. It is not just cardboard. It is not just tape and a shipping label. It carries a sore back that never got the chance to properly rest. It carries a bedtime story that got missed again. It carries an anniversary dinner eaten alone, a goodbye at the door that felt heavier than usual. It carries stress that never shows on the outside, the kind that sits quietly in the chest, every single night, long after the shift ends. Nobody talks about this side of it. We open the box. We smile. We move on with our day. But somewhere behind that smile is a story we never asked to hear. And maybe it's time we did. 8. From ports to doorsteps. The journey nobody sees. It begins at a port. Massive containers stacked like silent giants against a gray morning sky, waiting for their turn. Then a truck picks it up, carrying it across state lines, through the dark, through unfamiliar towns, through a night that feels like it will never end. Mile after mile, state after state, the package inches closer to you. And finally, it arrives. Right there, on your doorstep, wrapped in cardboard, waiting for you to open it. You see the box. You never see the journey behind it. You never see the tired eyes, the aching shoulders, the countless hands that carried it before it ever reached yours. That journey was real, even if it was invisible. 9. The untold lives of America's night workers. At home, someone is always waiting. A child, looking up with confused eyes, asking why dad is always sleeping when the sun is out. A partner, eating dinner alone at the table, again the other chair empty again. Sleep doesn't come easily when your body forgets the difference between day and night. You lie down, but your mind is still running, still moving boxes, still counting hours. Somewhere in all of this, dreams get pushed aside, not because they stopped mattering, but because, right now, survival has to come first. And there is a quiet grief in that, a grief nobody talks about, the grief of a life being lived, just slightly out of sync with everyone you love. 10. Nobody knows their names, but America needs them. They are not famous. You will never see their name trending online. You will never see their face on a magazine cover. But without them, store shelves would sit empty. Hospitals would run dangerously low on supplies. Even your simple morning coffee wouldn't make it to the shelf in time. They are ordinary people, living ordinary lives, carrying an extraordinary weight, completely unnoticed. Every single package you open holds a story of exhaustion, a story of sacrifice, a story of someone who worked while you slept peacefully without a single worry in the world.